So if I can have everyone's attention again, you may still be mixing. That is good. That's fine. You do you. We're here to help. My name is Jerad Koepp. I'm Wukchumni. I'm the Native Student Program Specialist for North Thurston Public Schools, and I'm the 2022 Washington State Teacher of the Year. You're really close. Yeah, more flour for sure. The Wukchumni is a small tribe from Central California and the foothills of the Sierra Nevadas. So my position is district-wide. We have students in all of our schools. So my classroom size is hundreds of students, and the whole district is my classroom. My day can start out with sophomores or juniors on a study group. Then it could be driving to the other side of the district to work with a group of middle schoolers to tie drums or bead. Then I could also wrap up my day working in government-to-government relations, collaborating with tribal partners, leading professional development, giving our teachers the tools and the training to be more successful in engaging with their content and supporting and connecting with Native students more. Every day is different. So it's a great illustration of, while I serve a diverse group of students, I also represent the diversity of our profession. Our primary offices are located in an elementary school, a middle school, and a high school, all of which are closest to the reservation and also have our highest Native student population. So we always kind of start off at a home base, get a sense of what the day's going to look like, so then we just kind of load up with the gear that we need. Because sometimes we'll be out moving around the district all day. In addition to supporting my Native students, I also get to support our growing Native Studies program. It's a history class in a kitchen. It was filled with sounds of excitement and curiosity as students were trying to find the right consistency for their dough. It was filled with the smell of warm oil, and so it sounded different. It felt different, and it nourished students differently. So I was born and raised in Richland, Washington. Quite a small town, very homogeneous. Yeah, I didn't have any Native educators growing up, like in the public school setting. I had so many wonderful teachers, and I think the thing that really stood out for me was they were always passionate about nurturing my curiosity. I think my culture just informed my interest in Native education. So I had like this deep cultural call to the work, but then there's so much diversity and flexibility in what the work looks like. It's a really great place to be a practicing educator. All of our district is on traditional Nisqually land. We also have students from local tribes in the area, but also just the very fact that we're also in an urban setting, that we also have students from tribes all over the country as well. What's missing for Native students in the system are more Native teachers. Our students need to see themselves not only in the content that they're learning, but in the people in front of their classrooms. I can connect with a student by merely being who I am. And I see this a lot with elementary students. I show up to a school, I see this little kid walking down the hall, and they'll see my beaded lanyard, or they'll see a Native shirt that I'm wearing, and instantly you can see a reaction in the student that they're safe, that they know that they're seeing someone like them, and then something exciting is going to happen. I have young siblings that come in, and I've worked with their older brothers or sisters. I've worked with kids of kids, and that knowledge of this program is passed down. It's like these are your people. You go to them. Outside of like the teacher talk, right? It's really about creating like these liberated moments in this long journey of intergenerational trauma. The impacts, they're academic, they're leader-based, they're college graduation rates, but really it's the things that hit me are the fact that we get a pause and be positive and be hopeful and create and be together. I think those are the impacts During our time together, I helped a student or a family gain more trust and more faith in education and what education can provide, as well as more pride in the space we can occupy within school.